I don't think there's too much that keeps Karren Brady awake at night. And by the way, she talks about her great achievements of how she oversees the running of things at West Ham United. She is certainly very self assured in the belief that she's doing a fantastic job. World class stadium with a world class team. Remember those words when she was selling the London Stadium to us all? Well, now we're in our 10th year at being in the London Stadium, and it feels no more a world class stadium than it did 10 years ago. In fact, it feels as if the whole stadium experience has gotten worse rather than better. If you're new to the West Ham Voice, if it's the first time that you're watching this channel, and if you enjoy the content, please do hit the like button, and please also consider becoming a subscriber of the channel, as it costs nothing to do so. Anyway, as for the world-class team who was going to be competing for the Champions League, we're now at a stage 10 years on where we keep being told by the board that we're skint, and that now we have to sell the crown jewels in order to keep our heads above the PSR restrictions. So when we went out and started buying the likes of Lucas Paqueta, Mohamed Kudus and the like, in thinking that we were building a world-class team, now we're finding ourselves having to sell them all in order to keep our heads above water. So when Baroness Brady had the opportunity again to address the concerns that many fans have about the match day experience and about the team and about the concerns about the team overall, she yet again went down the road of trying to blind us all with sheer and utter nonsense. So I can only draw on one or all of the following conclusions. Firstly, she really believes that the club is really being run in a fit and proper manner. Or she really believes that what she's telling us is the honest truth. Or she absolutely doesn't give a flying F about what we as fans think and will continue to try and blindside us as she goes on. It wasn't that long ago when she did an interview with Jack Sullivan on Sky that she was boasting about our great achievements. You know, how if we had not moved from the Boleyn, we would never have been in a position to compete in and win a European trophy. Baloney, unless, of course, she knows nothing about our history of winning a European trophy way back in the 1960s when we were at the Boleyn. In that interview in February, Brady also boasted about how the current board saved us financially. Yet here we are in their 14th, 15th year of being in charge, and it's suggested that we're about to make eye-watering losses of anything between 80 to 100 million pounds. So what on earth have they done in those 14, 15 years to bring us back to square one, to bring us back to where we were when they first took over? Brady also bragged about the importance of increasing sponsorship revenue, but yet we find ourselves not achieving anywhere near the kind of sponsorship revenue and deals that a club of our stature should be demanding. Why is that? Because we don't own our own stadium, maybe? But also because we just don't achieve on a regular basis. Yes, we had those, what we now are going to be looking back in the future as those golden years, those 3 years in Europe and winning the Europa Conference League. Other than that, all we've done since we've moved to the London Stadium, well, even since before, is fighting off relegation. And that's what happened last season, isn't it? You know, we were right on the cusp of. And then we come to the message that she sent out to fans on Tuesday on the West Ham official website about continuing our journey together. What journey is that exactly? More and more traditional fans are leaving in their droves. From what I understand, season ticket renewal rates only got as high as something like 88%, which meant yet another 2,000 traditional fans have simply walked away after having enough. And judging by Brady's answers to some fan questions, it's not difficult to see why a lot of fans have not bothered to renew. Brady brags about our standout developments, and one of them being the introduction of the Fan Advisory Board. Now, this is a group of fan bases which are meant to be engaging in meaningful dialogue with a club over issues that concern the fan base. But why is this standout? Firstly, there is yet again, and this is yet again, the fan advisory board is yet again another rehash of various fan boards that have been around for several years. I've lost count as to how many different names this fan board has been given over the years. So it's nothing new. So why is it regarded as a standout development? Just about every football club in the Premier League, probably in most leagues, not just the Premier League, have got their own version of a fan board. So this is not groundbreaking in any sense of the imagination. I'll tell you what would be standout about it, and that's if the board actually really listened to some of the real fan-based concerns we have and properly engaged in a joint partnership to find proper resolutions for those concerns. That would be standouts. The club recently invited fans to ask questions of the club, raising concerns that they had. And of course, fans raised concerns about player recruitment. And Brady, I guess, rightly said that it would be inappropriate to reveal to fans who Graham Potter was targeting, or indeed how much we have to spend on transfers. Of course, she's not going to reveal that. However, Brady could have eased our concerns over being skint. That's what we keep being told. It's what we keep hearing. She could have allayed those concerns by suggesting that Potter would be backed in the transfer window with the necessary resources he needed. But she did nothing of the kind. She failed to do that. And sometimes the less said, the more is revealed as to where we stand as a club in terms of our transfer funds. Brady also went on about how fans shared their concerns over the matchday experience at the London Stadium. And this is where she scored some spectacular own goals. She didn't say anything about the wall that was built to separate away fans from the home fans. If you recall, that monstrosity was erected during our European campaign, and it was set up to apparently protect fans from harm. But as has been stated so many times before, simple netting that is used all over the world. You know, I've never seen a wall being built, but you know, every away game that we've been to, especially in Europe, has got netting, which does the job just as well in keeping the fans away from each other, keeping them safe, and it doesn't kill the atmosphere and the banter between rival fans. And that's what the wall has done. It's killed that atmosphere. It's been party to killing the atmosphere at the London Stadium. Then she addressed, or should I say, skirted around the continued support of having standing areas in the stadium. And despite there being approval by the Premier League to introduce safe standing at all stadiums, Brady is hidden behind the stale statement that it's the London Stadium that is pushing to have it as an all-seater stadium, and it's part of the ticketing conditions, and it has to stay that way. No, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. The Premier League has approved safe standing, and most clubs are introducing these. Many clubs are. There is absolutely no reason. Well, there is a reason, and I'll come to it in a moment. But the real, you know, there is zero reason why the club cannot engage with the London Stadium owners to discuss having standing areas at the London Stadium. And the reason being why they won't do it, simple truth of the matter is the cost. I don't know what it will cost, maybe a few $100,000, maybe something like that to introduce safe seating, but they simply won't spend the money to give us a standing area at the stadium. So it comes down to cost. It's got nothing to do with the London Stadium insisting, or the London Stadium owners insisting on having it all seated. All they have to do is engage with the London Stadium owners, get an agreement made, pay the money, the few $100,000 it will cost to actually have standing areas, and then the stadium atmosphere again will be improved immensely. Now, it's all very well exploring family-friendly zones and a dedicated atmosphere section. What's a dedicated atmosphere section, for goodness sake? But one easy way to create more atmosphere is to allow fans to stand. The whole issue of picking out away fans was addressed as well in home ends. And that's far. And a farcical response was given to that about us being vigilant and checking on people's postcodes, where they live, etc. What on earth is all that about? West Ham fans come from all over England. You know, you get fans traveling from the not. I live in Northwest London. Does it mean that if they check my postcode, they'll go, "Oh, he lives in Northwest London. He's got to be an away fan." What a load of baloney! You know, not all fans live in East London. You know, most fans live, you know, primarily East, Essex, etc. But fans come from all around the country to go to a game. Fans come from abroad to go to a game. The one way to address the whole issue of having away fans in the home end is to address what P1 Travel does. Whilst they continue to sell home tickets on the open market, we're never going to rid ourselves of away fans in the home end. And Brady said nothing to alleviate that issue. She didn't address that issue. And she knows herself that away fans get home tickets from the likes of P1 Travel. There are a number of other points raised, including how away tickets are allocated and how fans can be encouraged to use the ticketing exchange system. And to be fair, as far as away tickets are concerned, I've been on the wrong end of that in the past. And the only fair way to accumulate enough points to attend more away games is to do the hard graft of going to that away game up north in midwinter when you don't really want to. But you know, that's what I had to do. And with the greatest of respect, I know a lot of fans don't like it, but with the greatest of respect, I don't think there's much we can do about that unless you put yourself in the position to be able to go to those away games. And I know not everybody can, but, you know, not much you can do there. But as far as using ticket exchange is concerned, the club could do more to improve the process, such as giving cash back rather than club cash, which expires after a certain period of time. If you gave decent amount of club cash back, I think ticket exchange would be used more often. Look, let's finish on a high. If there is a positive to take away from everything that's happened with Brady and the fan action group or whatever they're called, FAB, whatever, and that is keeping the concession tickets as they were. Let's not forget the club wanted to absolutely do away with concession ticket schemes as it was, and with the aim as to push ticket concessions up into the upper stands. So as you get older and the harder it is for you to climb up the stairs, what Brady wanted you to do was to sit up in the gods. You know, whether you can get there or not was irrelevant. And it was only because of Paul Colburn and Hammers United, along with the help of the FSA, that the club finally agreed to keep concession tickets as they were. So do not think for a moment that the FAB is the success it's made out to be. Brady has got a lot more to put right, but her arrogance towards everything being rosy is far, far from the truth. Bit of a rant. I do apologize, but it makes a nice change from talking about rubbish transfer news. Tell me what you think about Brady's message to the fan base. You can look it up on the official West Ham website. Tell me what you think. Thank you for watching and listening to the small rant. And do hit the like button. And like I said, if you've enjoyed the show, please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you all, and I'll see you again very soon.